Hello and welcome to class 2 of the 30-day whole food clean eating challenge, how to say no without feeling deprived so you can say yes to something so much sweeter. I'm Angela Sidness, Integrative Nutrition Health Coach at wildcraftedway.com. You are in the right place if cravings and feeling like you have to depend on sugar or other snacks to make it through your day sound familiar. True confessions. I wasn't always a health coach. In fact, it wasn't too long ago that I was sneaking to the freezer to eat chocolate chips with peanut butter and ice cream after everyone went to bed. After years of struggling with digestion, cravings, weight, trying different diets and exercise routines, I studied at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and changed my life. I realized there is a better way. I learned how to eat in a way that completely gets rid of cravings, and the real change began when I started to understand that food did more than impact my weight. It was also a trigger for many of my ailments, cravings, and binging. I became so passionate about this way of living that I now teach it to other people. By doing this program, which is based on what I've learned from many experts in the fields of health and nutrition, I have been able to use food, herbs, and lifestyle to help me heal and transform my life. Every time I feel like I need to energize, rejuvenate, shed weight, and revitalize, this is the program I follow, and it always works. My intention is to transform your personal vision of your cravings with innovative and authentic breakthroughs so you can finally have control over what you eat and how you are feeling. Remember, no advice is given unless asked for, and there should be no mentioning of another group's personal information on Facebook forums or any other public area. Everyone benefits when any one person asks a question or insight. You'll often get your biggest aha when someone else shares. So please share your experience. And I also want you to know that I may interrupt you. I'm not doing it to be rude, simply to be in service to you and the group in the short time we have so that you get the information and results you came for. In this class, we will learn the 8 primary causes of cravings and my top 10 tips for dealing with them to create instant change. By the end, you will find inspiration and value in your cravings. But before we do that, I'd like to have you stand up if it's available to you. We're going to do shaking the tree exercise again. All right, let's start with taking a few deep breaths in and exhale. Take a deep breath in, count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. And exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to imagine a tree, any tree you want, any size, any kind. And now you're the tree. Put your arms up as the branches. Stretch out. Plant your roots deeply in the ground or shallow. And we're going to shake the tree. Just shake your body out. Just shake it off. It's a heavy windstorm today. Just shake it out, shake it out. Shake your body. Lift up your legs, shake out your legs. Shake out your neck, your arms, your booty. Shake it all out. And breathe. Great. All right, you can have a seat. I want you to listen and take part fully today. What will it take for you to change your relationship with cravings today and be here 100%? Take this awareness forward and really make a commitment today to change your relationship with your cravings and do something different. Did you know the addictive nature of sugar rivals that of cocaine, morphine, and cigarettes? If you want to learn more about the science and a whole lot more information than what we're going to go through in today's discussion, head on over to the 30-day challenge members only page, and under the week 2 class 2 lesson, you'll find this video. I highly recommend you take the 90 minutes to watch it. It's Sugar, the Bitter Truth by Robert Lustig. He's a professor of pediatrics in the Division of Endocrinology, and he explores the damage caused by sugary foods. It's actually a really engaging lecture and very informative, and includes quite a bit of science and research. This is important to know how addictive sugar is. Remember, it's as addictive as cocaine, morphine, and cigarettes. Because when we give our bodies too much sugar, it makes it really hard to maintain a healthy weight and causes a lot of inflammation in our bodies. So that's part of it. What we eat changes everything. Your life will turn out completely different when you are eating well and when you understand food. Our food goes into our stomach, and as it gets digested, it gets absorbed into our blood. Our blood is what creates our cells, our tissues, our organs, even our thoughts. Food changes how we think and feel. We think differently when we eat meat and when we eat broccoli. We feel differently when we drink coffee or alcohol or when we eat sugar. So here is a chance to understand what causes those crazy cravings and to know that you can reduce them naturally over time. So I'll quickly go over the downsides of sugar consumption and which causes inflammation. There is more on your members only page under class 2, and a link to another website with 146 reasons from a doctor. Decreased energy, advanced aging, it contributes to brain fog, cancer, heart disease, it stops mineral absorption, and suppresses immune system. So those are all things none of us want to experience, correct? Humans love sweet things. Even before we started refining sugar, we sought out foods with sweet tastes. When unprocessed, sugar contains a variety of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes and proteins. When brown rice or other whole grains are cooked, chewed, and digested, the natural carbohydrates break down uniformly into separate glucose molecules. These molecules enter the bloodstream where they are burned smoothly and evenly, allowing you to absorb all the good stuff. Refined table sugar is very different. Also called sucrose, it's extracted from either sugarcane or beets. It lacks vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and thus requires extra effort for the body to digest. To absorb sucrose properly, the body must deplete its own stores of minerals and enzymes. Therefore, instead of providing the body with nutrition, it creates a deficiency. It enters swiftly into the bloodstream, first pushing it sky high, the blood sugar levels, causing excitability, nervous tension, and hyperactivity, and then dropping extremely low, causing fatigue, depression, weariness, and exhaustion. Health-conscious people are aware that their blood sugar levels fluctuate wildly on a sugar-induced high, but they often don't realize the emotional roller coaster ride that accompanies this high. When you consume simple carbohydrates and sugar, it increases your blood sugar. The body stops producing glucagon, which is the hormone needed for body fat to produce energy. It instead produces insulin. So it stops producing glucagon and then it produces insulin. The insulin's job is to take blood sugar to the cells for energy. The cells can only store a limited amount of insulin. So the excess, if you have intake and excess amount of carbohydrates and sugar, it's going to increase your blood sugar. It's going to stop the production of glucagon, which burns fat in the cells, and instead is going to use insulin. And what the cells need for energy will get burned up, and what we don't need gets stored as fat in the adipose tissues. So what you don't need for energy gets transported to the liver and transported throughout your body and stored in the adipose tissue in the popular places we know as fat. Sugar, however, is not the problem. It is the solution. Usually what that means is that when you have a craving, we want to look at, many people view cravings as a weakness, but really they're important messages meant to assist you in maintaining balance. What does my body want and why? When you experience a craving, deconstruct it. So that's what we're going to do. Where do these cravings come from? What we want to look at is just pause when you have experienced a craving, and pause and look at the foods, deficits, and behaviors in your life that are the underlying causes of your cravings. I like to spend time in nature, so if I don't get enough time in nature, sometimes I have interesting cravings. There are 8 primary causes of cravings: lack of primary food, being dissatisfied with a relationship or having inappropriate exercise routine, being bored, stressed, or uninspired in a job, or lacking a spiritual practice. May all cause emotional eating. Eating can be used as a substitute for entertainment to fill the void of primary food. So we're going to do this circle of life later on today in this exercise. And we'll talk more about what this means to you. Water. This is going to be a common theme. Lack of water can send the message that you're thirsty and on the verge of dehydration. Dehydration can manifest as mild hunger. The first thing to do is drink a full glass of water. Excess water can also cause craving, so be sure that your water intake is well balanced. Every time I talk about water, I want to drink water. So go ahead. Everyone can pause, take a drink of water. Hopefully you have water nearby. Great. All right, yin-yang qualities of food. Certain foods have more yin qualities or expansive. So that would be alcohol, sugar, coffee, dairy, tropical fruits that are really sweet. Those are yin, expansive, while others are more contractive. So eating foods that are either extremely yin or extremely yang can cause cravings in order to maintain balance. From the inside out, foods that we have recently eaten, foods that are eaten by our ancestors, or foods from our childhood. A clever way to satisfy these cravings are by eating healthier versions of these foods. Cravings for sugar-laden comfort foods often point to a psychological yearning for companionship also. The body craves foods that balance the elements of the season. In the spring, people crave detoxifying foods like leafy greens, asparagus, citrus foods. In the summer, people crave cooling foods like raw fruit, raw foods, and ice cream, fresh vegetables from the garden. And in the fall, people crave grounding foods like squash, onions, and nuts. During winter, many crave hot and heat-producing foods like meat, oil, fat, nuts. Cravings can also be associated with the holidays for foods like turkey, eggnog, or sweets. Lack of nutrients. If the body has inadequate nutrients, it will produce odd cravings. For example, inadequate mineral levels produce salt cravings, and overall inadequate nutrition produces cravings for non-nutritional forms of energy like caffeine. Hormonal. When women experience menstruation, pregnancy, or menopause, fluctuating testosterone and estrogen levels may cause cravings. When things are going extremely well, sometimes a self-sabotage syndrome happens. We crave foods that throw us off. thus creating more cravings to balance ourselves. This is often happens from low blood sugar and may result in strong mood swings. So this is where planning ahead comes really handy. So you're not running into these low blood sugar situations. A good place to get help if you find yourself doing this is scheduling your free session with me so that we can help get a plan in place for you so you don't run into this situation. So let's talk about my top 10 tips for dealing with cravings. Reduce or eliminate caffeine. The ups and downs of caffeine include dehydration and blood sugar swings. Um, and which may cause sugar cravings to become more frequent. Hydrate. Sometimes sweet cravings are a sign of dehydration before you go to the sugar. Have a glass of water and wait a few minutes to see what happens. If you do one thing by the end of this 30-day challenge, I hope it is that you hydrate more frequently. Our cells really need the hydration to survive and thrive. Eat sweet vegetables and fruit. So this is the 30-day whole food clean eating challenge. So we want to incorporate a lot of sweet vegetables and fruit, especially if you're having sweet cravings and you love sugary sweet things. They're naturally sweet, healthy, and delicious. The more you eat, the less you'll crave sugar. So adding in sweet vegetables helps to crowd out less healthy foods in the diet. Sweet vegetables soothe the internal organs of the body and energize the mind. And because many of these vegetables are root vegetables, they are energetically grounding, which helps to balance out the spaciness people often feel after eating the other kinds of sweet foods. So here's a chart of some sweet sensational vegetables. Here we have very sweet vegetables, corn, carrots. Corn, you could even throw into the grain. It gets used like a grain here. Carrots, onions, beets, winter squashes, sweet potatoes, and yams, which are pretty much the same thing. Those are all sweet, and they turn really sweet when they're cooked. You can roast them. You can boil them. You can steam them. There's all saute, like onions, sauteed till they're translucent or caramelized, become very, very sweet and delicious. Some subtly sweet vegetables would be turnips, parsnips, and rutabagas. They all are great added to soups and other sort of stew and casserole type dishes, boiled, steamed. And these other vegetables like red radishes, daikon radish, green cabbage, and burdock. A lot of us think of burdock as a weed. However, it is an amazing food. And if you want to learn more about that, you'll have to sign up for one of my wild edibles courses or look it up. It is a delicacy in Japan. They don't taste sweet, these vegetables, but they have a similar effect on the body in that they maintain blood sugar levels, reduce sweet cravings, and break down animal foods in the body. So radishes and cabbage and burdock can be really effective weight loss strategy. They're naturally sweet, healthy, and delicious. The more of these foods you eat, the less you'll crave sugar. Of course, fruits. Give yourself permission. The sweet taste in nature is found very infrequently and comes with all the fiber and nutrients necessary for optimal energy use and blood sugar stabilization. You can make your own cacao chocolate dip for berries with either the truffles, or you can do coconut oil and raw cacao with honey, stevia, maple syrup, and you can make yourself a wonderful, healthy chocolate dip for berries. Use gentle sweets like whole fresh fruit eaten when in season is the most optimal source of sugar. Their minimally processed contain enzymes and nutrients and are so super sweet that you don't need very much. I love to use some frozen fruits in smoothies or just to snack on, especially this time of year. You can use citrus. Uh, Go for what you like and start incorporating more when you have that sweet craving. Incorporating more whole fresh fruit is a great choice. Berries are great. They're low on the glycemic index, but if you love something else, don't feel bad. Like I said, give yourself permission. You want to avoid chemical artificial sweeteners. That is not the solution. And you also want to avoid any foods with added sugar. Use gentle sweeteners like maple syrup, honey, brown rice syrup, molasses, dried fruit, stevia, and barley malt. This Getting physically active can really help reduce your cravings. You want to start with simple activities like walking or yoga. Start with 10 minutes a day and gradually increase. Being active helps balance your blood sugar levels. It boosts energy and reduces tension, which will eliminate the need to self-medicate with sugar. So if you haven't started yet, or if with a physical activity, get started. You're going to have a lot more success with this program. And it can really make a huge difference on your blood sugar levels. Go ahead and share on the Facebook page what you're doing for physical activity, or if you need some accountability, head on over there for that. Get more sleep, rest, and relaxation. Simple carbohydrates, such as sugar, are the most readily usable forms of energy for an exhausted body and mind. So if you're in a chronic state of stress and or sleep deprivation, your body will crave the quickest form of energy there is, and that's sugar, caffeine. So do your best to get more sleep and rest and relaxation, and enroll your family, friends, and colleagues to ensure that you're getting enough sleep. Evaluate the amount of animal foods you eat. According to the yin-yang principles of eating, which you would find in macrobiotics or traditional Chinese medicine, eating too much animal food, or yang, can lead to cravings for sweets. Yin foods. Imbalances can also occur with too little animal protein for some individuals. So you may require more protein or need more animal protein. Sometimes this happens with vegetarians. They find that they do better when they add more animal protein. But through experimentation and intuition, you can find which foods create balance for you as an individual. Some people their bodies run better on more animal protein, and some run better on less. It's really tuning into that intuition. And again, scheduling your session with me, we can work together to find out what is optimal for you. I can't say this, emphasize this tip enough. Please eliminate fat-free, low-fat packaged snack foods. If it says fat-free, low-fat, and it's in a package, run the other direction. These foods contain high quantities of sugar or artificial ingredients to compensate for the lack of flavor and fat, which will send you on the roller coaster ride of sugar highs and lows. Please stop right now. If you buy anything low-fat or fat-free and it's in a package, stop immediately. Experiment with spices, coriander, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, vanilla, and cardamom will naturally sweeten your foods and reduce cravings. So I love when making a porridge and adding cinnamon and vanilla, or when you make your own nut milks or seed milks, you can add these spices and you naturally use less sweetener. Slow down and find sweetness in non-food ways. A craving is not a signal that your body requires sugar. Cravings often have a psychological component. By identifying the psychological causes of the food craving and substituting lifestyle and relationship adjustments accordingly, you can begin to find balance and take charge of your health. When life becomes sweet enough itself, no additives are needed. And this is where a great place to get added support and accountability. It can be very difficult to navigate these sort of relationship or lifestyle things, but working together with a coach, we can identify what needs to shift, work together to do that. So those are the top 10 tips for dealing with sugar cravings. They're reduce and eliminate caffeine, drink water, eat sweet vegetables and fruit, use gentle sweets, get physically active, get more sleep, rest, and relaxation, evaluate the amount of animal food you eat, eliminate fat-free or low-fat packaged snack foods, experiment with spices, slow down and find sweetness in non-food ways. And those stem from the 8 primary causes of cravings, and that's lack of primary food, dehydration, it's the inside coming out. Remember, stuff from our childhood, ancestors, or food we've recently eaten. To that point, if you eat sugar at 3 p.m. today, you're most likely going to be craving sugar at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So take notice of that. Seasonal, you might be craving seasonal things. Lack of nutrients, hormonal swings, de-evolution or the self-sabotage syndrome, and yin-yang imbalances. So remember that sugar is not the problem, it's a solution. So I would love if you partnered up with somebody, and I would really like if you would take some time to share what you learned about your relationship with cravings and do the circle of life exercise with a partner. Now, if you're only listening to this, if you're not in the live class, share on the Facebook what you learned about your relationships with your cravings. And I want you to go ahead and do the circle of life exercise on your own. And how we do the circle of life is I want you to just take a look at it and read all the 12 categories. We have joy, spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, and social life. Now, I want you to imagine for you what is ideal for each of the areas. And now, the more satisfied you are in the area, you'll place a dot towards the periphery or the edge, the outside edge. If you're very satisfied, you have your dot further out. Now, if you're dissatisfied with an area in the circle of life, you put your dot towards the center. The more dissatisfied you are, the closer to the center. And then when you're done with each area, you connect your dots. So if you're watching the video, you can go ahead and pause and do this. And I'll share a link where you can do this live as well, and that'll be on your 30-day challenge members page. Circle of life exercise, I'll add that. All right, great. Welcome back from doing the circle of life exercise. We'll have you guys share a little bit about that, but the next thing I'd like you to do, either with your partner or if you're at home listening to this, I want you to recount a moment where you succumbed to a craving. Okay. Now, what was the mental process? Like, what were you going? Like, you're at work and somebody brought in chocolate chip banana cake. Someone always used to bring that where I worked. Okay. So what's the mental process? Oh, I've been so good. I'm so hungry. I forgot my breakfast. What's going on? What happened? Did you eat it? Just share what happened. And then think, how could you have taken steps in a broader perspective and make a better choice? So what are the steps that you could have taken? Could you have had breakfast? Could you avoided the break room? What are some of the triggers? Were you super busy? Did you not get enough sleep? Were you stressed? What is it? You felt guilty. You didn't want to make this person upset. So then take some time with your partner, and I want you to each take turns sharing this. If you're just doing this from home and not in class, please go ahead and head on over to the Facebook page, and I want you to share this with us. Share this, and then imagine a future memory of yourself dealing with this craving in a smart way based on what we learned today. So I want you to outline what might work for you when a craving hits, like recount it in detail. So I walk into the break room, there's banana chocolate chip cake with cream cheese frosting, and I go in the fridge and I grab my pre-made smoothie and I leave and I go back to my desk and I drink my smoothie. So, exact. So you can do this with your partner. I'll give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes. Go ahead and you can pause the video here. And please be sure to share your answers on our Facebook page. It's really important to do this exercise. I think you'll find how effective the visualization can be. Now, action steps for this week's lesson is I want you to stop and think about your cravings and check in with yourself before you make a decision. Be mindful when you have these cravings. How can you mitigate it without compromising your wellness? Be aware of how the circle of life affects you. Are you in balance? And add in more sweet vegetables, fruit, and gentle sweets. Experiment with spices and slow down and find sweetness in life. And any questions, we'll have our live Q&A session or share in class. Make sure to write them down, share on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for being here today, and I can't wait to hear how this went for you, and I want to hear about what you learned with your relationship with your cravings and primary food. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.